Hey guys, Denver James here, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the massive Doomlings expansion upgrade box. I'm going to give a brief breakdown of how each of these expansions work, what's great about them, what's not so great about them, and my overall thoughts on the collection. I'll also be releasing more in-depth videos of each of these expansions here in the near future. If you're watching this video, chances are you already know your way around the rules for the Doomlings base game. But just in case you don't, you should know that the object of the game is to score more points than anyone else at the table before the end of the world. You should also know that you'll need the base game before you're able to play with any of these expansions. Let's take a look at each of these expansions and see how they work, starting with Doomlings. In case you couldn't tell by its title, Doomlings fully embraces all things prehistoric. This is made even more evident by the adorably deadly dinos that cover these cards. But that's not all that this expansion has up its scales. Doomlings revolves almost entirely around the discard pile. Cards like the Serrated Teeth card allow you to gain additional points for every dominant trait in the discard pile, while cards like the Pterosaur Wings card allow you to play effectless trait cards from the discard pile. This barely scratches the surface of how this expansion pack utilizes the discard pile. This expansion includes 15 trait cards, 1 dominant trait card, 1 age card, and 1 catastrophe card. It's also worth noting that Doomlings is the perfect expansion pack for beginners, as it adds a lot of fun to the gameplay without complicating things too much. While Doomlings was a straightforward prehistoric romp, Mythlings introduces us to a world of magic and mischief. And make no mistake, this fantasy-infused expansion is sure to make enemies out of your friends, while also incorporating new mechanics to the gameplay. Cards like the Zombified card allow you to play it into an opponent's trait pile once discarded, while the Righteous card allows you to block an action that affects an opponent. These are just a few of the cards that allow you to stir up some magical chaos with your frenemies at the table. This expansion includes 16 trait cards, 1 dominant trait card, 1 age card, and 1 catastrophe card. While Mythlings is an absolute blast, it also adds a bit of difficulty to the gameplay, making it a perfect challenge for returning players. An expansion pack built around the concept of attaching cards with special abilities to host traits, Techlings updates the gameplay in a bold new way. Cards like the Bone Reinforcement card allow you to attach it to a trait card to keep it from being swapped or stolen, while the Lionization card allows you to attach it to someone else's trait card, making it inactive. While these techie cards can be attached to dozens of trait cards, they cannot be attached to dominant trait cards. If a trait card is swapped or stolen and has a card attached to it, the attached card goes with it. This is also the case if the trait card is discarded or returned to your hand. A host trait cannot have more than 1 attachment. This expansion includes 15 trait cards, 1 dominant trait card, 1 age card, and 1 catastrophe card. While Techlings acts as a seamless addition to the Doomlings world, it also expands the gameplay in a huge new way, making it a thrill for die-hard fans. While other expansions place an emphasis on zany abilities and new gameplay mechanics, Multicolor introduces a lineup of trait cards that act as wilds in terms of color. For example, since the Bloom card is bordered with blue and green, it can simultaneously be either one of those colors, while the Handwing card, bordered with purple and red, can be either one of those colors. This expansion includes 1 quadricolor dominant trait card, 6 dual color trait cards, and 1 colorless trait card. It also comes with an icon guide for players that are colorblind. With a concept that's easy to grasp, Multicolor makes for a fun and effective addition to the Doomlings world. Of all 5 expansions included in this collection, the Meaning of Life is perhaps the most unique expansion in that it gives each player an objective to complete by the end of the game. For example, the Jellyfish card will give you 3 additional points at the end of the game if you have 3 to 5 blue traits in your trait pile, or 6 additional points if you have 6 or more. To play with this expansion, simply deal 2 sign cards to each player at the start of the game. Each player will then keep one of the 2 sign cards and place the other card back in the box. You're allowed to look at your sign card, but be sure to keep it secret from everyone else. This expansion includes a total of 18 sign cards. While acting as an exhilarating expansion to the Doomlings world, Meaning of Life also weaves perfectly into the fabric of the overall game. Let's talk about what's great about these expansions. Right off the bat, what I absolutely love about this collection of expansions is how each one is dedicated to a unique gameplay style and theme, while also ranging in difficulty. Each expansion sets out to usher in a new chapter of the Doomlings world, and it does so with flying colors. From the playful antics of Doomlings to the objective-based strategy of the Meaning of Life, this series of expansions is a must-have for any Doomlings lover. Another thing that I love about this collection is its careful attention to detail. Each expansion has specific markers in the top right corners of its cards, making it easy to separate the expansions at the end of a game. The exceptions are the Multicolor and Meaning of Life expansions, which have their own unique markers. As well, I think it's awesome that the Multicolor expansion comes with an icon guide for those that are colorblind. It's little touches like these that make these expansions stand out in an already fantastic game series. And lastly, what I love about these expansions are the illustrations and overall art design. The look and feel of these expansions expansions meld perfectly with the Doomlings world, while also introducing us to some exciting new visuals. In a game with near limitless gameplay possibilities, Doomlings proves that it has the looks to match the smarts. Let's talk about what's not so great about these expansions. In complete honesty, there's hardly anything for me to pick at here. This is one of the best expansions that I've ever played with in any game, and that goes for all 5 of them. That said, if I had to really dig, I'd say that it'd be nice if the box were made of the same material as the base game, so as to last the long haul. As it is, the current box is a little thin. That said, something like this might be better reserved for a collector's box, and again, I'm really reaching here. All in all, the Doomlings expansion pack box is a towering achievement in terms of fantastic gameplay and rewarding strategy. Its variety of expansions will ensure that players of all kinds will have a great time, and the vibrantly rendered illustrations will remind you of how beautiful the apocalypse can be. While the base game was already a stroke of genius, this collection of expansions sets the bar even higher. If you're questioning whether or not to embrace this catastrophic trip, my advice would be to prepare for the end. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Take care, and I'll see you around.